Acheron Street in EPPING. My name is Robert Ozzimo and I proudly represent the company of Harcourts, Rata and Co. Joined here today by my award-winning team in blue, the boys in blue, the best in the business. Should you require their advice, please feel free to approach either Jim, Con, and of course Leon El-Assaad, who no doubt you've met throughout the marketing campaign, and birthday boy Mark behind the camera here today. Guys, let me share with you the following announcements which are in place to help you bid and buy with absolute confidence here today. The auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that are made available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for a property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price as the auctioneer. I'll indicate bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding, and provides for fines for such conduct. The rules permit for vendor bids, the words I'll use during the auction to indicate that I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor are a vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, can make a vendor bid. The contract has been on display prior to today's auction. We asked for a 10% deposit upon the fall of the hammer and the signing of that contract to take place here today, with the balance to be paid at settlement in 30 to 90 days time, at which time the vendor will provide the lucky buyer with vacant possession of the property. All in all, quite a straightforward contract. Everything's in there, everything's quite clear. Buyers, with my highest recommendation, what we offer for your consideration and competition here today in Acheron Street here. 584 approximately square metres of prime residential land in the very heart of EPPING. This is central EPPING. When we talk about location, it hardly gets more central than where we find ourselves standing today. Walking distance to absolutely everything that you need for a great lifestyle, but more importantly for capital growth. Walking distance to transport, parks, shopping, schools, all within very easy reach of where we stand today. The property itself, a sprawling floor plan, plenty of accommodation, in need of a little bit of TLC, but for the most part, livable as it is, with plenty of scope for you to add your improvements on over the years. But you cannot replace land and location, and we offer both of those components in abundance today. The time to buy and get off the market before the end of the year is fleeting, but today is an opportunity for you to do just that. If you'd like to get the sold sticker up on the board, right now is the opportunity to reserve that right. Buyers, where can I see a fair and reasonable starting bid for 2 Acheron? Who'd like to start us off? I don't mind the call. I can say that we have a very reasonable reserve price here today in the bid to get the property sold and to get the sold sticker up. So if you're here to buy, this is your moment and your time to take advantage of that fact. At 650,000, it is a bit light on, but I'll go with them at 650,000. I'll ask for participation in rises of 25 at 650. I have, and 25 the call. At 650,000, looking for 75 in the rise. At 650, I have now fairly been offered. At 650,000. At 650,000, fairly been offered now on the phone with Leon at 650 the bid. At 650,000 to make it 75. At 675, welcome sir and best of luck. At 75 the bid. At 675,000, round me off to 7 Leon. At 675,000, bids there under the tree against you on the phone at 675. At 675,000, fairly been offered now once. At 675, are we done? At 675,000, second call at 675 the bid. Done, finished. At $675,000 the bid for the third and final call. At 675 the bid. All done, all finished, all silent, out. At 675,000, need instructions, Leon, at 675 the bids there. One bid not enough here today. At 675,000, bids there. Opportunity with your buyer at 675 now. At 675,000, first call. At 675, second call. At 675,000 for the third and final call at 675. All done, all finished, silent, out. At 675,000, can I get instructions there, Leon? At 675, the bid's there. The opportunities with your buyer at 675 now. At 675,000, what do they say? At 675, I'll move along at 690 with a vendor bid, and I'll ask you to come back in the top, sir, at 700 if you like. At 690,000 against your bid. At 690 the bid. At 690,000 now against your bid at 690, round me off to 700, even money at that. At 690. At 690,000. What do you say? 690 the bid. At 690,000. At 95. Are you sure not 700, sir? We're extremely close to 695. At 695,000. At 695,000. Bids here now at 695. At 695,000. Fairly been offered now at 695,000. Looks like you've beaten the buyer on the phone. At 695,000. Got now under the tree at 695. At 695,000. Once at 695. Are we done? at 695,000. Twice at 695. Done. Finished. Third, final call at $695,000 the bid. All done. All finished. Silent out at 695. Sir, can I confirm that bid at 695,000? Bear with me one moment. I'm going to seek some quick instructions. I'll be back momentarily. Thank you. Guys, thank you for your patience, sir. Can I confirm that you have strengthened your position to 700,000? Well, 700,000. I did say that we had a reasonable reserve price, and that's proven true here today because we are on the market and selling here today at 700,000. If there's no further bid, you will be the lucky purchaser. So if you have come to buy, you must bid me now or forever hold your peace because we sell away at 700,000. The bid's there, the keys are there. We're on the market. We sell. We play for keeps, no second chances. That's got to be quick, Jim. At 700,000, it's a big floor plan. At 700,000 now. Now I've got to eke this 3 calls out. For the first call, that's one first call. At 700,000, are we all done? Second call at 700 the bid. Are we all done? Finished. Third, final call. At $700,000 the bid, all done, all finished. Silent and out at 700,000. Leon, if you could just, or Con, if you could just run inside quickly for me, seek instructions in there. Just want to make sure everyone's got ample opportunity here today before we do knock it down to the highest bidder at 700,000 on the market and selling. 701. At 701 from the cart, 701. At 701,000. At 701,000, easy bid to beat. So you were in the box seat, you had the keys. Don't lose them for one. At 701. What did you think, sir? At 701 the bid. At 701,000, going to consult here now. 701,000 bids there across the road at 701. now at 702. At $702,000 now. At 702 the bid. At 702,000. Bid back here on the street at 702. You had the keys for a moment. At 702,000. Fairly been offered. At 702,000. Fairly been offered. Only the one bid here today. At 702 now. At 702,000. Fairly been offered. We're done. At 702. At 702,000. We'll stop the next car, Leon. See how much you've got. At 702 now. First call at 702,000. Done. Second call at 702, done and finished. Third, final call at $702,000 the bid. All done, all finished. Silent out at 702. So in or out? Definitely done. Thank you very much for your interest here today. We are selling. So congratulations and well bid. Please join me congratulating our purchasers and our vendors here today. You've just witnessed another successful Harcourts Rata & Co auction. Have a great